You can't do special permits as a four-member board, that's why we're all kind of held up until the fourth.
Good.
So we all set?
In a minute.
Thank you for joining us. Calling to order today's meeting, December 13th, for the Middleton Planning Board here at Fuller Meadow. We have the first thing to review and approve is our November 8th, 2023 Planning Board minutes. We have 3 members here today, so we're going to go out of order on the agenda, but we will take a vote on the minutes to start. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes? If so, I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to accept the November 8th Planning Board minutes as written.
Do I have a second?
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objections? Thank you. Passes unanimously. So we're going to hear, start with ZBA recommendations and go out of order with 25 Longerin Road. Applicant is 5H LLC for a special permit and site plan approval going to the ZBA, allowing a building in addition to the special permit for indoor recreation.
Perfect. Just trying to load this up. So, good evening, Jill. Oops, that's upside down. For anybody who's watching, apologize. I'm a newbie at the intellectual proper, whatever it's called, technology. So basically, this is 25 Larnigan Road. Excuse me, I apologize. Jill Mann here on behalf of 5H LLC, the owner and operator of the Paradise Golf Range, miniature golf and then simulators. Located in 25 Larnigan Road. So everybody knows it's that last right-hand turn if you're going out of Middleton toward Danvers, right between Fast Freddy's and St. Cyr Pool. So that's the turn that it's down. It's all the way down the end. It's a very popular, obviously, Middleton location for mini golf and driving range. So this particular petition is in order to expand the current simulators. So I don't know if you remember back, like maybe in 2015, I brought forward a project where we were going to do about a very small building, like 1,000 square feet, and we're going to put in one addition. I apologize, one simulator. So we did that, and after that, the owner discovered that these simulators are very popular, not only for lessons, but also people love to come in and play inside when there's inclement weather. And obviously, this particular use is absolutely controlled by weather because it's all outdoors. So based on his belief that this is really a good way to generate some revenue, he's going to, or wants to, and is proposing to do an addition 900 square feet on that simulator building, and then to add 2 golf simulators. I'm going to just flip through this plan. So I gave, that first plan shows the general property. It's 17 acres. It's very large. It doesn't include the pond. It's right next to the pond. And then it extends, one property back from River Street. The property has tremendous number of wetlands. I shouldn't say tremendous. It has a big wetland buffer and then wetland on it. And there is a lot of floodplain in the area as well. But all of that can be compensated for and mitigated. So this particular project did go before the Conservation Commission because there were some issues relative to where the wetlands were, had they been filled, had they not historically. So the owner actually went back to the Conservation Commission, got an basically an ANRAD, an ORAD, actually, an order of resource area delineation. And they have identified where the wetlands are and everybody's comfortable. Ms. Kent actually said, look at where you're trying to put that new simulator building, you're in the floodplain. But what you can do when you're located in the floodplain is actually compensate, just like you can with wetlands. You can fill up the floodplain up to 5,000 square feet, and all you need to do is replicate it in another area, and that's exactly what they're going to do. So Kristen asked that we go through this process, Kristen Kent, the conservation agent, before we came to her to make sure if there was any tweaks or something that had to be done, then it would be taken care of in her subsequent order of conditions. So there's already an order of conditions to handle what's going on at other parts of this particular facility, and then I'll file a new a notice of intent for this particular addition as well. So where the addition is located, I think, can you see my hand? Yep, you can. Okay, so I'm going to make this bigger. Okay, so here you have this existing building, that's where the existing simulator is. And you see the recently constructed addition, that's because the owner might have started work before he got his permits. He's been on a cease and desist and has not continued to do that, and recognizes that he needs to come before the committees, boards, and is doing so. So basically, all we're doing is taking that existing building, coming back toward the parking lot, and then actually reconfiguring the parking to go from 54 spaces to 65 spaces. And why? It's because when it's high time, they really do need the spaces. Although back there, you can park on Lonergan. It's not like parking, with 114 or something else. There's space. But that's literally the whole project in a nutshell. Adding a 900 square foot building and perfecting that site plan change, and then showing additional parking. And by the way, we're not increasing any impervious area. So as it stands, it's literally that property with like a little attachment to the building. I do have an architectural plan as well that I can show you. I knew where it was. Here it is. So here's just a close-up of the actual insides of the building. So on each side, you have the driving ranges, where the tees, where you hit the balls. And then you can see where the existing simulator is, and you can see where the proposed addition is. And we show the two simulators. And then I can show you the actual building. So it just looks like that. It's kind of a pretty, looks like a barn. All the structures out there kind of look like a barn. Very similar to other recreational uses along 114. And that's really it. So we're going to the Board of Appeals tomorrow night. This particular request requires a special permit because indoor recreational use does, and then a modification to the existing site plan that had been approved in 2015. So if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them.
I have a question on, and I know this is just on the, how many square feet are you recreating when you give them back on the other side?
On the floodplain.
On the floodplain.
It's 1-to-1 usually, but that's subject to, the Conservation Commission can say, look, we want a little more, but it always has to be at least 1-to-1 for floodplain replication.
And you have enough room to do that?
Yes. It takes up, because there's other upland, so when you replicate floodplain, even though it might be out of the wetland, you still have to, well, it usually isn't, but you have to replicate it in an upland portion. So you have to take land that is otherwise above the floodplain, dig it out, and make basically flood storage. So if the property does flood, there's another place where it can go, the water.
Okay, thanks.
And it doesn't look like there's any food and beverage or anything.
Not in that building. That building is purely the golf simulators. Now, I will tell you, similar, how if you go to other recreational indoor uses that have similar facilities, you can have food delivered, or you can take it from outside. The same thing here. You can bring food in, drink in, and you can enjoy the simulators. But he doesn't have, it in that building.
And is this a separate entrance, it looks like? There's no separate entrance? You have to come in through the existing entrance?
There is a separate entrance, it looks like to me, on the, when I went down there, it looks like there is a separate entrance on the side.
Okay.
So you can get into both places. I think we had to. I don't think we could use the other one. We needed more space.
Okay.
Got it. Okay, I see that now.
You see, okay, Mr. Bernard Sergiuca.
Very good. Does anyone have any other additional questions?
That's good.
So we will be making a recommendation in regards to provision of water, wastewater disposal, stormwater management, roadway access design, and construction, as well as provision of utilities. In lieu of that, I will entertain a motion for a recommendation to the ZBA.
I'll make a motion that, to the ZBA that the proposed addition is within standards.
Perfect. So Jason has a positive recommendation to the ZBA. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate it.
Glad to hear they're doing well and
And expand.
Yeah, it's a great little facility.
It's great for the wintertime, too.
It
People
is.
aren't going to be outside using the mats.
Bring your
if they
daughter,
have-
she should learn to golf now, she's at the right age.
I know, I wish. All right, moving on to another ZBA recommendation for 223 Maple Street. The applicant is Middleton Management LLC, seeking site plan approval from the ZBA for a modified site plan for a new use, that being of a liquor store.
Guess who? Jill Mann here on behalf of Middleton Management LLC, the owner and of the property located 223 Maple Street. This property, everybody knows. It's the one that used to be run by Mike LeClaire. It's right across the street from Bouchard's, right next door to Magical Beginnings, right? It's a triangular-shaped property, 8 gas tanks, self-pumping. So, over the years, this has been transferred to Mukesh Patel, who was a resident of Middleton, and he and his wife have owned this particular business and rent out most of the units, including the gas station, which is rented to a third party. Over the years, Mr. Patel has decided that he would really like to transition the property and try to get away from the automotive repair facility that was located behind the building. A lot of us used to go there. It's like literally motor repair. The auto body is next door at Captain Pizza, but this was pure auto body repair. So what he has done is actually, the leases are up for the auto repair facility as well as that car detailing place. Remember Pace?
Yep.
They used to be in the other segment of it. So he is choosing to combine that automotive detailing business with the automotive retail business and taking away that industrial use and converting it to a retail store. So back in the spring of 2023, the town voted to have home rule petitions, which meant we got to add a couple of, I think it was actually 4, all alcohol I think it was, might not have been, because there was some beer and wine as well, but all alcohol licenses. So this was one of what we call a home rule petition that was granted to the entity that is now going to take over those 2 spaces. I think it's called MRU. So there is an existing all-purpose, all alcohol license for this property to show those 2 combined units. It's about 2,100 square feet. So even though it's an existing building, even though we're literally doing nothing to the site, it's a substantial change in use, right? You're really going from that industrial use to a retail use, and now you're gonna really have people coming in and out of the building. So we're required to seek site plan approval or site plan modification, right? Because there was an existing site plan approval. There's no special permit necessary for this. So what we've done is simply provide to you the plans, which show 30 parking spaces. The original plan that was submitted showed less. It only showed 23, because really that's what's required. However, when they applied for their liquor license, they showed 30 parking spaces. So we're required to comply with the conditions of that liquor license, so there are 30 parking spaces on site.
Okay.
I will note, though, that they've been slightly reconfigured, and the reason for the reconfiguring, this isn't even the right, they've been reconfigured along the back. I can go in and get the other one. I thought I had it. Here it is. Wait a second, progress. We had to reconfigure it so that there would be the 30 parking spaces. I'm just gonna find where I put the extra plan, because now I can't find it. Okay, I'm trying to find the plan that I had prepared in December, and now I'm not, maybe this is it? No. Yep, here it is, okay. I apologize for the delay. So this is the new plan, I'm sorry about that, it's up on the screen. I did send this to Ms. O'Leary, so I believe you might have it in your system, but I can't promise you that you do. But this plan that you see before you with the 30 parking spaces is the correct plan. So again, I'm just going to show you where the old uses were. So you can see this unit right here with basically their liquor shelves, and there's the combination of the 2 buildings. So what we did was really just reconfigure the back parking spaces so that they didn't have any interference from projects going around the site. That's why.
And is he planning to operate the liquor store, or is he going to lease this out similar to how he leases out the?
Well, so the Middleton Management owns it, so he's leasing it to another company. So yes, there is it's an independent, LLCs are considered persons, so yes, they're all arm's length deals with another company.
Okay.
So the purpose of tonight is simply to say, look, we, pursuant to the application, there's no modifications to the outside. The stormwater management plan continues to be in effect. The septic system can handle the flow. As far as lighting goes, it's the same lighting that's there presently. We're not proposing to do more. We'll have probably pedestrian lights over the doors of access on the side where they hadn't been, because where the main access is for the liquor store is actually right here on the corner. We have one front access, but because the parking spaces are on the side, people are going to enter through the side. And everything else, though, truly is the same. And then I can show you a picture of the, here's the actual floor layout of it beforehand, like when it was still the automotive detailing place. So you can see the two facilities, and then I'll show you the change. And there's the change. And then I can show you so there's the exterior. For the most part, it looks pretty much the same, doesn't it? It'll still have all the glass, it's just now there'll be signage over that one door, and then on the side, if you've ever been there, that side has overhead, it's very unattractive, it has like an overhead door where they used to pull in for you remember, like for the detailing, and then behind you had kind of the buildings, so it'll all be, standard retail glass. And that's basically it for 223 Maple Street, if you have any questions.
Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to make a positive or negative recommendation to the ZBA.
I make a positive recommendation to the ZBA to approve the proposed change.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we have one more ZBA recommendation to make for 329 North Main Street, the application 189 North Main Street LLC.
Can't reach.
Looking to make a modification to the special permit and site plan approval allowing indoor recreational use for a pickleball court.
Good evening, Jill Mann here on behalf of 189 North Main Street LLC, the owner of the property located at 329 North Main Street. And this particular property is the subject of many previous decisions. So this is one of the properties that were legally existing non-conforming that are over in the Rockaway Road area. This particular property is located, one property in from Rockaway Road, right, it basically is bounded by Sylvan Street in the back and North Main Street in the front. You can see it on the property, in the map. So this particular property was approved in January 2023 as 8 contractor bays. Over time, Mr. Giorgio, who's the principal of 189 North Main Street LLC, determined that maybe it was going to be better if we could have some sort of a different use than contractor bays, because, we've been hearing rumblings that people, if possible, would prefer to see something a little different along North Main Street. Now, I can assure you that it's very difficult to do that on vacant properties because of the 100-foot setback. It doesn't really bode well for things in that particular area because it's such a restriction. But this particular property, if you remember, was a legally existing non-conforming property. So we did receive a special permit that allowed us to build within the 100-foot on this particular property. So it actually works out to be great for this type of recreational use. And what it is going to be pickleball courts, indoor pickleball courts. That's the current rage, and it's a great use because it really suits Middleton's need to try to get properties on North Main Street to be something other than heavy industrial or industrial. It also suits the need for physical activity. I mean, there's a place for adults to go to have fun that doesn't involve a bar. Right? It's tough to find places like that, and this one will actually suit that need. And I do have another one that's actually up that's for children. You know, I'm noticing a lot more indoor recreational uses for people. That's like becoming a more prominent desire on the part of developers and landowners, property owners, and thank goodness business owners. It's coming back. You know, we had a bad time for a while since 2019, and I see a change. So that's really great for Middleton. And this particular property, as I said, is very well suited. The building itself is still going to be pushed back from Route 114 more than the previously existing building. Instead of being, you know, I think it was 50-something feet setback, the old building, this one will be 61.9 feet setback from the center line of 114. But what's really great about the way Mr. DiGiorgio is developing it, as you can see, is all the parking's in back, all the entrance points in back, which allows him to actually put in a building. I'm going to go to the landscape page. Put in a building that has a decent amount of buffer via landscaping, and you can see it here, which you normally have a hard time doing if you have to put parking in the front, which is what was done with the contractor bays, because there was no other way to do it unless you put the parking in front for that use. So this, we were able to take all that hard top and pavement and put it behind, and then put up all those, all the landscaping. And then the actual visual appeal of the building, you know, it's still a pickleball court, so it's not as if you can, that's the wrong one. It's still a pickleball court. So you can't necessarily, I'm trying to find the architectural plans. I think I put the wrong ones in, so I have to go somewhere else to get it. But at the same time, he's able to put in like a building with faux windows, and it's really a good-looking building. One sec, here we go.
I see that there's signage proposed that says New England Pickleball Club. Is this
Yep.
going to be for public use?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
is this private
You
membership
go, no,
only,
you call
or-
up, you rent the courts and go for it.
Okay.
Yep.
And is his plan to host any kind of tournaments or events?
There are only 6 courts,
Okay.
so you can only have 4 people per court.
But I
and
see
then-
that in the plan, he's got like a viewing area and a pro shop
It's-
for merchandise. and-
But the point of that is when people come in, it's a very small area in front, like, so when you have that transitional period, so people will come in, and a lot of times people will either have a racket, bring somebody that doesn't have a racket, so it's a great thing to have the sales, because people will buy them, but it's a very small area in that front part. And then the total occupancy for the building is limited to 100 people. You can't have more than that. That's literally the occupant load. But when we did the, so that means it's an assembly use, right? So an assembly use requires 3 parking spaces, so it's 34 spaces. We provide for, I think, 38. And then the other thing is we anticipate, 4 people per court. And what we do is we take that 4 per court and then we multiply it by 1.5. So we even have, we provide for more than enough parking for what we're anticipating.
Okay.
On site. But yes, so, tournaments, I don't know how you have a tournament, 6 courts? I guess you could all play, you could play
Rotating
together.
and-
Yeah.
But I noticed that there's no like locker room. There's obviously a restroom with a shower, but I don't see lockers or.
And that's being talked about. So when I did my research about whether or not you had to have a shower, and, Mr. Bernhardt's gonna know this better than we are, but it looked to me like it was an A3 use. So that's just like how you categorize for the plumbing code or building code. And the A3 use said you didn't have to have showers. But the A5 use says you have to have showers, but it was Jason, I could not understand that section of the code. Like, one particular use table said it was outdoor gymnasiums, and then another table said, but it's fitness it was the most confusing CMR I've ever read.
It's not well written, but
Not well written at all.
rule of thumb is usually if you're having something like this, you put showers in.
Yeah, and so Ralph is, I guess, has been talking to Scott Fitzpatrick, and I think that's why you see the shower, because he thinks he has to. I think it's always, nobody really wants to put that in, but he may have to.
Okay.
And then here's the vision. So when you see the doors, you see the front. This is, believe it or not, the back of the building. That is not the front of the building, that's the back, because that's where all the parking is. And then this is actually the, I think this is the rear of the building. No, this is the rear, I'm sorry. This is the rear of the building. Because you have to have egress, right? So this is the rear, this is the front. And that's where all the plants will go.
Is he putting a a sign on the front of the building,
That's weird, this should be
or
more.
either on the side?
There will be a sign, I think, on the front of the building, like the normal wall sign,
Yeah,
and I think they
facing-
put it over the front door, so we're gonna
Facing
end up
114.
probably eventually having to get that special permit to do 2 signs. We
Mm-hmm.
just didn't do it yet. Because honestly, let me see. And that, I mean, I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Just on the showers, Jill, if they do, if Ralph has to put those showers in, do you have the septic capability of it there, or what?
Oh, we have, good, yeah, we,
Okay.
so, yes, so Title V has a section, it's a good point, Ms. Jean. Title V has a section where it says, you know, fitness with showers, again, I'm gonna look at Mr. Bernhardt, fitness with showers, fitness without showers, fitness with cafeteria, so they have to comply, and it's a newly, it'll be a newly installed septic system.
Okay.
So it'll meet all of Title V guidelines. Ms. Mello, I'm sure, will be all over that. And I think that's why there's been discussions between Ralph and Mr. Fitzpatrick and the plumbing inspector, because they're trying to figure out, you know, what really has to go there.
Okay.
And I apologize, but this is the actual building facade. Again, I'm not very good at this stuff. I'm just, trying to go from my computer to that one is killing me.
So the front will have those 5 windows with the trees?
Exactly, because I knew there were trees. I'm like, where, I mean, I knew there was windows. I'm like,
Yeah, so
where is it?
it's-
So I apologize, I put up the wrong
It's
one.
perfect.
It's in your package is the right one, though. But this is the correct architectural plan.
Yeah.
That you saw it in your package,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I, of course, gave you, I don't know what architectural version, but it was one. But so this is the final architectural plan.
With corrugation on top.
And then I can go to the floor plans, too. Which
And
is,
what
this is
type
what
of
Mr.
roofing?
Yeah, this is what Mr. DiGregorio was talking about in the front.
And what type of roofing?
I think it's just gonna be a standing metal roof. I don't think, it might be, it looks flat, but I think probably there'll be a little pitch. So it's either gonna be, if it's no pitch at all, it'll be rolled rubber. If there's a pitch, it'll be metal.
Okay.
So it looks like it actually looks like it's gonna be flat
Yeah.
with a little, you know how they do a little pitch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any questions.
Yeah, I was just looking at the lighting plan too. It looks like there's very minimal lighting in the front part of the property near North Main Street, other than where the sign is gonna go.
Exactly,
Sufficient
yep.
lighting in the back and the parking area where the front entry is, along the side as well.
Right, there's very little lighting. Only because it's just the use doesn't call for it. I can get to it.
And like you said, with 6 courts, I don't see traffic being much of a problem.
Right, and if you notice in your package, what I had done was I had a traffic assessment put together. So when we were doing the contractor bays, it's always, people are always curious, okay, what is this really gonna mean? You know, let's do a traffic assessment. So we did a full-blown traffic report in January 2023, and then I had her bring it forward, if you will. And she's like, look, you're not even gonna generate that many peak trips, because in the morning, you're not gonna generate almost any. And then in the afternoon, it's gonna be after-work people, so it'll be at the tail end of peak evening, but that's when they're gonna do all their businesses, weekends really, and evenings. And then we did get a comment from Chief Lacoste, and he just said, look, we would need to see the fire turning radius, and we gave it to him, and he actually signed off, issued an email, and I could probably find it, but he issued an email saying, you know, this turning radius is fine, you provide us with sufficient radius, you know, turning radius to be able to get in and maneuver around. And then also located right next to this, while it's not, we don't have an easement right over it, but as far as that goes, for purposes of emergency, right? Any kind of emergency vehicle is able to access any property, anywhere, anytime. So there is a driveway on the side that if necessary, the Middleton Fire Department could also go up the side of the property.
So I actually have that email. I'll read that into
Oh, you
record
did? Okay.
from Chief Lacoste at Middleton Fire Department. Hello, Katrina. Here are some comments and suggestions for 329 North Main Street. Ensure that the fire department vehicles, ladder 1 in particular, have access to the building perimeter. I can provide the vehicle specifications for the ladder truck if needed. He also made a suggestion, which we may want to consider for a condition on a positive recommendation to the ZBA if we choose to do that, for placement of AEDs at the property with, since it's recreation use, allowing people there to perform that if needed
CPR, like
to
that.
help someone.
And I actually put it as one of the special conditions for the Board of Appeals,
Okay.
for the Board of Appeals decision. I made a special condition page, and I put in that, some of the conditions from the prior approval, because I have to bring them forward. And then I said to have installed a defibrillator, I can't even say the word, defibrillator.
Perfect.
Perfect.
So we
So,
can include that in our,
do we need to make that recommendation, or they're already
we can
doing
include that
it?
as a condition as part of the
Absolutely.
recommendation to the ZBA.
Julie's put a sign out front, is that what I see on the,
A pylon sign?
yeah, is
Yep.
that, on the lighting structure it shows, is that where the sign's gonna be proposed?
Right here is where the sign's
That's
going
the
to be
side is,
provided.
right?
Oh, yeah, at the east side of the front of the building.
Yep,
Yep.
that's where the sign's gonna
Yes.
be, right here. That's your entrance, that's the sign. And the sign doesn't look.
Any other questions, comments? I will entertain a motion for a recommendation to the ZBA.
I make a motion for a positive recommendation with the condition of the additional AED or defibrillator for the proposed site plan at 329 North Main Street.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second that?
All in favor? Aye.
I,
Any nays? Passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Should we try one more time? Any,
no,
I just got a response back.
no response?
Mind if I step out, make a phone call?
Please,
All right.
try and get him here.
you want to adjourn a
I
little?
don't think anyone wants to push it to next month.
You can like deputize someone as a.
No,
No kidding.
it doesn't work like that.
Get someone to swear in real quick.
Try to keep the public waiting. All right.
Yes.
And then you introduce yourself.
We're ready to start.
All right, thank you for joining back with us. We are going to open up the public hearing for two special permits. I'll read the notice to open the hearing. In accordance with the provisions of Chapter 48, Section 11 Mass General Law, the Planning Board will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, December 13th, 2023, at 7 p.m. at the Fuller Meadows School Media Center, 143 South Main Street, on the application of Andrew McEachern for approval of a special permit under Chapter 235, Section 9.4 of the Middleton zoning bylaw to allow the use and development of a two-family dwelling in an R1A, R1B district on property located at 7 Linda Ann Way, Middleton, Mass., and can be found in the Assessor's Map number 12, parcel number 52. Plans are on file at the office of the Town Clerk, Memorial Hall, 48 South Main Street, Middleton, Mass., and at the Planning Board Office, DPW Building, 195 North Main Street, Middleton, Mass. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on the application should appear at the time and place designated, and this was posted in accordance with Mass General Law.
I'm Andrew. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Andrew.
What we're doing here is an addition at 7 Linda Ann Way in Middleton. It's an existing 2-unit with a unit in the basement. What we're looking to do is build an addition, moving that unit into the addition, and just what we're here for. And just, I believe we meet all other zoning requirements other than the second unit that's currently existing. Yep, and that's the floor plan of the second unit. It's on the first floor, which is the same level as the basement currently. The second floor of our addition above this will meet the first floor of the current house. Kind of the gist of it. I can go into more detail, or if you have any questions.
My only question, any changes to the driveway entry into the property? I know it's set back pretty far, right?
Not besides, we're gonna have to take up some driveway to redo the septic.
Okay.
But the layout of the driveway is not changing.
Very good. That was the plan I was looking at.
And,
So this is going where the existing deck and stairs are, correct?
yeah, it's going off the side of the house. Basically, if you walked out that slider, you'd be walking into the second floor of the proposed addition.
Yep.
Underneath that would be that garage, and to the right of that garage would be Michael's new unit. And he's currently living at the house. There's no new people moving in or anything like that. But that's exactly what we're that's exactly where it's going.
And it looks like all the setback requirements are met.
Yeah.
30.5 feet.
Being the closest.
Being the closest to.
Oh, it's going really slow on yours because I have to go through that.
Oh, yeah.
I can't get, okay. I'm trying to get it so they can see it, and I'm having a hard time.
I think if you go to the final page, it has the setbacks
The
and our
last one?
proposed, yep. Final, the one before that.
Yeah, see, it's not.
And did you say this is going to be one septic system servicing both units? or
Yeah,
is
and
it
it's
gonna
already
be a
been
separate-
engineered.
Okay.
One more?
Yeah, if you go up one more, it's the site plan.
There you go.
Yeah.
There, that help?
Yeah, we're adding a bedroom, so we redesigned the septic, and it's already been submitted and everything. We've already had stormwater engineered as well, submitted to conservation.
Pretty much open, closed case, I would think, right?
There's nothing, yeah. They sent all this in the packet.
So I will consider a motion, taking into consideration that we're reviewing this as part of section 9.4.2 of the zoning bylaw, which says the adverse effects of the proposed use will not outweigh its beneficial impacts to the town or the neighborhood. Community needs are met by the addition of more affordable housing, this being multifamily housing, which is needed in town. It will have no impact on traffic and pedestrian flow, safety, and parking needs. It's, yep. The needs have been met from a pedestrian flow, safety, and parking. The property is located on a public way, and the home has been used. There will be no additional occupants to the property. The lot is serviced adequately by utility connections that will be expanded to suit the needs of the individual units with the new septic system, which has been approved, as you mentioned, by the Board of Health for 6 bedrooms. And it fits with the surrounding neighborhood character, as the existing exterior facade will be maintained and each unit will have its own separate entrance. Impacts on the natural environment are negligible, as this is an expansion of an existing residential use, and the project will increase the property tax base by creating a legally permitted 2-family home where one exists today. So I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the special permit to allow a 2-family home at 5 Elm Street, subject to really no conditions. We really haven't made any conditions. Oh, 7 Linden Way?
7 Linda Way,
Is that, what did I say?
5 Elm.
Oh, I'm sorry, 7 Linden Way.
7 Linda Ann Way.
Yes.
I will, do we have a second?
Second that?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, you need your,
USB.
yep. Oh, yes.
Kind of the same.
Yeah, right.
They're very
It
similar.
worked out.
Thanks.
You're very welcome.
Michael's always working.
Good luck, Michael. It was great to see you.
All good.
I'm gonna be quiet.
And in accordance with the provisions of Chapter 48, Section 11, Mass General Law, the Planning Board will now hold a separate public hearing today, Wednesday, December 13th, 2023, 7 p.m. at the Fuller Meadows School Media Center, 143 South Main Street, for the application of MJP Properties, Inc. This is for approval of a special permit under Chapter 235, 9.4A, Middleton zoning bylaw, similar to the last one, allowing the use of a development of a two-family dwelling, R1A or R1B district, on the property located at 5 Elm Street, Middleton, Mass., and can be found on the Assessor's Map, number 28, parcel numbers 1 and 2B. Plans are on file at the Office of the Town Clerk, Memorial Hall, 48 South Main Street, Middleton, Mass., and at the Planning Board Office, DPW Building, 195 North Main Street, Middleton, Mass. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on the application should appear at the time and place designated.
Good evening, Jill Mann, here on behalf of MJP Properties, the owner of 5 Elm Street. This property actually has another owner. Peter Madden owns one of the, a very small part of the property behind, and that sale is just waiting for this hearing to be done and for the board to take a vote. So that's why you'll see the two owners. Here with me this evening is Michael Pizarro. He's actually the principal of MJP Properties. So where this property is located, so you know when you're coming down Boston Street and you want to go to Thompson Country Club or Teresa's, and you take that right-hand turn, that's what this represents. There's a stop sign, and right there you can see the White House. It's that huge White House that's on the right-hand side as you go past. It's the last house in Middleton before you go into North Reading. So that's where it is. There's a very small portion of it, the back, that's in North Reading. It's about 78,000 square feet in Middleton, another 10+ thousand in North Reading. It's in the R1B zoning district as well. So the project is seeking to convert this single-family home into a two-family home. I mean, it's a big house. It's over 5,000 square feet of living space. So what this allows is to actually make it into 2 units. And as it is set up now, I believe it had been used for 2 units previously.
Yes.
I don't know that there's ever a permit. In fact, I know there wasn't. But maybe 20 years ago, before this, the owner that transitioned to the current owner, it was used as a 2-family. There's 2 attached garages, there's 2 entrance points, everything. It's just that Mr. Pizarro had to actually reestablish the separation, which he did. And what he ended up doing was creating 2 units, one that was about 1,900 square feet, and the other one that's still large, is 3,000 square feet. But, I mean, if we could have divided it into 3, we probably would have, but we're only allowed the 2-family, and that's what we have. So the plans you have actually entail no physical changes to the outside, other than the pool is being filled in.
The pool is already filled in.
Oh, it already, okay, I have an old picture. I just wanted to give you a vision of what the property actually looks like. It's a beautiful piece of land. So let's now look at the site plan. That'll help. So here you go. I can give you the details. So this piece of property back here is what is still owned by Peter Madden. This property is all owned by Mr. Pizarro. I believe he actually came in, if it wasn't last month, it was a couple of months ago, right, for the A&R plan to basically create the lots into different
Yes.
segments. He wasn't really sure how he was going to go, and then he decided the best option really was to actually make this a 2-family versus trying to do some other things with the combination of the lots. So the property you have here is the property that will be affected, and I had concluded all the deeds for that. It is a legally existing non-conforming lot because of the front setback, but everything else, the property meets all side setbacks, including both of the attached garages. It's over 30 feet from the sidelines. And it obviously continues to meet open space requirements. The property is actually 88,000 square feet, which is twice the required amount of area in order to have it become a legal 2-family. I did prepare, and I don't know if you got it because of the circumstances, but here is the decision that, you know, Katrina always asks me to kind of provide you with a draft, so to make that kind of voting a little smoother.
It looks like
this
both
is-
driveways are gonna remain as is.
Everything remains as is. The only change, I'm going to show you the inside of the property. So the only changes are to actually create those separating party walls, because when you create a two-family, you have to make it so that you can't transition between, they have separate, they have separate utilities, everything has to be separated, and that's what Mr. Pizarro's plans are that you have in your package. So I'm just showing you right now the first floor, the second floor. I'll go show the first floor.
Show you the separation walls.
Okay, here we go. I'm telling you, I am not good. Have you noticed that I just keep flipping? One sec. I'm going to do it more slowly. And I'm going to make it smaller so that I can see everything. Okay, so here's the existing floor plan, and you can see there's no separation, but there are internal staircases, and there's obviously the exit doors, which exist today. So when you look at this particular plan, you can see where there's a front entrance to one of the units. That'll be the second unit, the smaller unit, and then there's the entrance for the larger unit. Here's again the existing floor plan for the second floor, and now here you have the proposed floor plan for the first floor, where he creates that wall and then allows for there to be, staircases to go up to the second floor. I mean, I know normally you don't get this much detail, but it's pretty unusual that somebody takes a very large home, at least around here, it's very unusual to take a large home and then do the conversion. Typically, what we're doing is exactly what happened in the other project, where you kind of add. And here, there's literally nothing being added. It's all internal reconstruction and renovation work. So if you have any questions, ask them of me, and I know that the public is here too, because I know Mr. Mills, and I know he's in a butter on the North Reading side. But if the board has questions for either me or Mike, we're here to answer them.
Is the plan to make this adjustment for resale purposes as condos, or to hold?
So market, right now, it just depends on the market, right?
Yeah.
So, right now, there aren't any condominium documents, there has been no movement toward that, so then it has to be rental. If sometimes you're able to sell it to a family with a mother and yeah, exactly. So that happens more frequently lately than not. So in that case, the family can make the determination. At this point in time, we don't know, right?
Not right now.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely can be, yeah.
And the property card will stay as is, you're not gutting to the studs, obviously,
So-
and getting a new year of construction. I think it's, year of construction is 17.
Oh, 1752. Yeah, the initial year of construction is that. So what will happen is Brad will actually create two cards for one property. So if you were to go to look, he will show Unit 1, Unit 2, and he'll show them. I don't know when it's not condoed. I think he assesses them together,
Yeah.
but he still will show Unit 1, Unit 2.
Okay.
And that's why. So really, it sounds crazy, right? But anybody who knows condominiums knows that when you have one big home and then you subdivide it, the second you do that, you increase value. The sum of the parts definitely is greater than when you just take it as one big parcel. So the assessed value will go up, and then there will be generally additional revenue generated from that particular home. Plus, it's kind of, you'll read through all the stuff, but the need, there really and truly is need for smaller sized homes. There really is a need for families to be able to grow together. A lot of us grew up in 3-family homes, right? And that's the way you raised your kids, with your grandmother, your uncle, and your mother. So I think it's going kind of back towards that. So that's why kind of homes like this are more in vogue, to not have a huge single family. Also, we need housing, so this makes one unit into two. And as I said, the modifications continue to serve all interests. There's absolutely no change.
In the plan that we looked at in January, I believe that showed that the sheds in the backyard were going to be raised, and
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that's still the plan?
everything's coming out. The only thing that's remaining are the attached garages, the home, and that's it, right? The pool's gone, and then there's sheds.
There was a pool shed there. There's a pool shed there still, the little house I think is gonna tear down, and then there's another shed. The pool shed's in pretty good shape, I might have been using that as a shed, but I'll take it down, it doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
The pool's filled in now. The septic's complete.
Yeah, so it is a six-bedroom. So Ms. Mello has reviewed, it's 3 and 3.
So they, two septic systems.
Nope, one septic
One
system.
septic from-
Two, I'm assuming you have 2 pumps, you know, you have to have come out and
Yep.
then,
Okay.
Very good. We have a draft finding. We have to review the evidence. Would anyone like to review that? And I will entertain a motion.
You could ask for
the public, I think, may want, I don't know. if-
Anyone from the public wish to, please?
Hi, good evening, members of the board. Dan Mills, 5 Green Meadow Drive, North Reading. Just had a couple quick questions. The plan that was shown, was that the latest plan showing the division of the lots that took place last year?
I believe the lots were combined, right?
So may I?
Yeah.
So the lots were in fact combined, Mr. Mills. So what had ended up happening was, the subdivision, it's so, you know what? I have the A&R plan. Give me a second. So what ended up happening here is, the board knows, we actually had a multi-lot property. And it actually has been combined now, so that you have, here we go. I have to do both. Okay, so here we are. So originally, you had, you had these, this is how Mr. Pizzaro actually cut it all up. And then he actually had this piece that is Peter Madden's. So this is being combined, this is coming over, this lot's being combined, and this lot remains. So see how we created all these little parcels, but the outline you see here, I can split the screen.
If I could just approach the board here.
Yeah.
So these lots are now combined? These lots are combined?
Mm-hmm. You want me to,
So,
Yeah, if you go to the legend, Jill,
pardon?
yeah,
because
go to the one that shows the new proposed.
this was a new lot that was developed last year, correct?
You mean subdivided? Explain.
Subdivided.
This-
new
this-
line was, it says right here, new lot line.
Yes.
So that was in place, and now you've actually gone back and taken that line out?
Yep,
Okay, so this is one lot,
yes.
and where is the?
Originally for 2 single-family homes to be put.
Yes.
And the new request is for the lots to be recombined
So in
with
Middleton, in
one
order to make-
two-family instead of 2 singles.
Right, because in Middleton, to have a 2-family, you need twice the area. So that's why, when we did this, we had to combine the other properties, and, quite frankly, had to acquire property from Peter Madden to make it up to the 80,000 square feet, which actually is 88.
Where is the end property line over here? I'm not seeing.
I
it
can,
on this
because it's
plan.
shown on another one, because we wanted to be, we have to show the board the complete plan. So here's the Madden plan. Oh, it's even harder to see it, but let's see if, let me blow it up, and hopefully you can see it. Okay, so Peter Madden's property is this property right here, this big piece, and this is the, see this dividing line?
Yep.
That's what we're buying. Is it clear to you? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so so I was confused because I thought there was, I guess I missed a step in between where they had the new lot line separating it to have 2 different lots.
Yeah. Sounds like your concern was that they would
Have you-
build the 2-family and then have another
So
lot
you'd
to
have
build
basically
on.
3 families, right, okay.
Oh, yeah, no, and we have to combine.
Yeah, they
You
have
have
So-
to have, you have to have this, the acreage.
No, that has not been done yet?
Family.
So the way it works for zoning is I don't have to do anything. I can just show it on one plan. I don't have to go back and file an A&R plan to pull it out. If it's held in one property and there's a special permit decision that will be filed at the Registry of Deeds combining, it's done, and then the assessor will combine. There's no ability to regenerate that line unless I go back in and I change it from a 2 to a 1 again.
Okay, do you see my concern? Am I,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You confident that I shouldn't be worried, right?
Yes.
About another structure being built on that other lot?
Yeah.
They
so like
don't
a rear-
have the square footage
To
to
do
do
that.
so.
Okay.
Once they needed to grab that extra piece from Mr. Madden to
Okay.
allow them to even do the two-fam. So there's no way that they'll have enough of square footage to put a single family between that current home and your home, perhaps.
Okay.
I don't know where you
Sure.
live, but
Right.
let's just say, for
Okay.
example.
Okay.
There's not a concern on that. They can't do it.
Okay, very good,
And I
appreciate
guess
your,
my question is, there's no additional tree removal or shrubs being removed from the,
If anything, I think you added landscaping last time I went by.
Yeah, right now, we just want to get the septic in and get ready to go for the winter. And I'm chasing after a bunch of stuff now, trying to loom it before it freezes. All that rain killed us, but the septic's already been inspected, already been backfilled. Now we loom it, and then we loom the backyard where the pool was after we filled that, and that's what we're trying to do probably tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah, so actually, he increased the amount of vegetation, because that pool, that was a big pool.
so there is another lot that was created.
This one, or you want to go to the, which one do you want me to go to?
This one
Site
here.
plan, or?
So there is another lot that's created that a house will be built on this lot,
100%.
correct?
I can show you where it is, yep. We have another compliant lot.
That's a lot they acquired.
It's actually,
At the
yes. So
beginning. That's 1 Elm Street, right?
Oh, you remember, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see where that property is above, but it can only be done, it can only be a single-family home, it's just too small.
Okay.
Okay, very good, appreciate it, thank you.
You're welcome.
thank you. I will entertain a motion if no one has any additional questions or comments.
I'll make a motion to accept the application from MJP Properties, special permit.
I think we would have to review all the findings as well
Yeah.
as part of the approval.
Findings after hearing from all the interest party and evaluating the evidence, the facts presented to the board. The public hearing pursuant board authority under section 3.1.3 and section 9.4, Chairperson Carroll called for. Yeah.
Change,
Chairperson Anthony
yep.
called for a motion that the beneficial impacts resulting from the redevelopment of the property and the compensation to a two-family home outweighed any adverse effects, and to issue the following findings. Middleton needs smaller, moderate-priced housing. Petitioner will satisfy the needs by converting one large home into two separate dwellings. Each unit will contain two 3-bedroom units. The unit number 1 contains 3,084 square feet of living area, and unit 2 contains 1,900 square feet of living area. Number 2, the property and existing structure comply with all minimum area, dimensional height, and density requirements for the R1B district, with the exception of the 25-foot front setback requirement, which is pre-existing non-conforming under MGL C40A, Section 6, and Section 3.3.1 of the ordinance as shown on the site plan and architectural plans. The property contains approximately 88,000 square feet of land, which is more than twice the area required for the single-family home in R1B district.
Jay, I'll take 3 and 4. Access to the property is safe and adequate for both vehicular and pedestrian traffic. The entrance to the property is located on a public way, and the home has been used in the existing driveways as access to the 2 on-site garages without incident for decades. Number 4, the property has adequate utility connections that will be expanded to suit the needs of the individual units. The Board of Health has approved the installation of a new 6-bedroom septic system for the 2 units.
I can do 5 and 6 and 7. I think that's it. Yep. The conversion of the structure into 2 units will not create any adverse impacts on the natural environment. Petitioner is installing a new Title V compliant septic system which has been approved by the Board of Health and will not increase any impervious areas. Number 6, the creation of 2 moderately priced homes will offer home ownership to families at a lower price point than the existing single-family home will generate 2 properties tax bills as well as additional excise tax revenue. Number 7, the residential use is consonant with the neighborhood character, and the conversion to a 2-family will not alter the exterior facade of the home. It currently has 2 entrances
It should have been,
and 2 attached garages along the driveway?
I think it should have been along Elm Street.
Okay, along Elm Street, and 2 attached garages. The interior layout of the home is being reconstructed to separate each entrance into a private entrance for each unit. Should I continue? I made the motion.
No, we're done.
We're done.
The findings are complete.
Findings are
Mr. Chair.
complete. So I would entertain now a motion to grant the special permit. If someone is open to that, you may say so moved,
Inclusive of the findings?
inclusive of the findings.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you very much, appreciate your
Thank
time.
We will not have a town planner report. We hope Katrina is doing well. I had given a report already from the Affordable Housing Trust. Any other items not reasonably anticipated? Oh, what was that?
Jill's computer.
Trying to sign off.
All right, I will make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.